My Sinister Hand here. Today I'm doing something not quite music related. It kind of is, it kind of isn't. See, when I was a kid, I was intrigued by mechanical and electronic things. It amazed me that I could push a button and then some seemingly unrelated action occurred. My little kid brain just needed to know how. Naturally, this led me to dismantle a lot of my toys to fuel that curiosity. I distinctly remember the first thing I took apart, this Snoopy music thing. It was this big yellow box. And I don't recall much about the toy itself. I know it played music and it flashed lights. But what I really remember is when I cracked that thing open and saw the innards. I saw how the wires ran from light bulbs to buttons to the battery terminal. And it amazed me. Naturally, some of these toys that I took apart, didn't always get them back together. And even when I did, they didn't always work. And it's pretty safe bet that Snoopy music box was never the same after I was in there. So, no longer a kid, obviously, but that curiosity is stuck with me for better or for worse. And I still take shit apart. And while my success rate has improved a little bit, it's still not guaranteed. And with my recent re-emerging interest in the cassette tape format with my tape loop experiments and such, I decided to pick up this. I got this broken Walkman off of eBay for pretty cheap. And this is the exact model I had as a teen. So there's some nostalgic value to it, but it's more than that. I want to crack this thing open, see its guts, and see if I can fix it. Something I didn't do as a teen because that one worked and I probably didn't want to risk breaking it. So I've got my chance now. Now I have no formal training and very basic electronics knowledge. So the question is, can I fix it? That's something we're going to explore in this new series that I'm calling F Around and Find Out. So this is the Sony Walkman WM-F2015. This is the exact one I had in the 90s, early 90s when I was a teenager. Listened to many cassettes on a Walkman just like this. But I'm anxious to get it open. The radio works, and I've already tested all this, but even in the eBay ad, they said that the radio worked, but the cassette drive didn't. So it does work. The headphone jack needs probably some contact cleaner because it's pretty scratchy. The volume, I don't know if it's the jack or the pot. It might be the volume pot. It's scratchy, but also I want to say that I think one headphone was cutting out, so that jack may need some attention. As far as I'll show you. As far as the cassette drive itself, there's definitely some corrosion. I don't know if you can see that. Definitely some corrosion up in here on the battery terminals. So that's going to need a little TLC. Man, that's really loose. But let's yeah, I can hear. I don't know if you can hear that. The motor. Oh, that one just started spinning. I heard the motor spinning, but the wheels were not turning. So most likely, this is what I assume. This is a belt situation. Problem with these belts, though, I've done a few of these now, and these old Walkmans, the rubber in there just turns to goo. So it's usually a pain in the ass to clean up. But we'll see once we get this apart. We'll see what it's doing. I'm thinking the belts aren't completely gone since it just started spinning. They're probably just really loose or weak. So I think this comes off like that. There we go. So hopefully it's not goo in there, and it will be easy to clean up. But we'll see. So I've done one of these before, so I have a little experience with trying to open it, but it's a bitch because there's no screws anywhere. It's just you need a spudger to like pop this thing open. Alright, let's see. Oh, okay, look at that. Alright, so I think I found a little trick. I pushed it around the battery compartment there. I went down with the spudger and something popped. Look at that. Okay, that's the trick, guys. That's the trick. Go down in there to release these catches, man. Oh, that's it. There she goes. There it goes. There it goes. I do think I broke something though. All right. All right. It's coming apart now. Okay, look at that. Did I break anything? Oh, yep. That little post right there, that little clip. Hopefully I didn't break any more. Hopefully it was just the one and it'll go back together. Okay. It's a lot harder than it should have been, but we got it open. And gonna need to clean the corrosion on these battery terminals for sure. These don't look too bad. No, those look pretty clean. And yeah, the belt looks, they haven't turned to goo like on the couple other Walkmans I've done. Maybe because it's not quite as old as the other ones. Thank God, because when it turns to goo, man, that's a freaking pain to clean. But they could definitely be. Yeah, I'm gonna replace these. They're pretty loose. Let's I'm gonna go get an adapter so I can plug this in and we can actually try to get the motor going and see what's going on here. So hold on. So I've got this switchable voltage power supply, center negative. I've got it set to 3 volts, which is what this Walkman needs. So we're going to be able to get the motor running and see what it's doing. Plug it in. Alright, let's see what happens here if we press play. Well, the motor's working and it's turning the wheels. You can see this belt's kind of wobbly. I think it's warped just from age and usage. And it's easy to stall that wheel out, and the motor's still running. So this belt's definitely, this belt here, this one is definitely slipping. And now it's actually just stalled. It's not even moving. The motor's still going though. I can feel it. Yeah, the motor's still going. So yeah, it's just weak belts. So we may have lucked out with this one because the belts didn't deteriorate. There's not a lot of cleanup. So let's go and switch these belts out. And you'll notice that belt goes under this little wire here. So I need to make sure I pull that out, put the belt under it, and put this back. And then it goes to the underside of this wheel. So let's get this guy off. Oh. There we go. And let's see. Got some replacement belts here. Just got these off of Amazon, actually. Hoping we'll be able to find some that are the right size. Let's see what we got. The new belts are definitely a little thicker. It might be the right size though. I may want something a little smaller. Make sure it's gonna... Maybe that guy? Maybe that might be too small. I don't know. Well, first of all, let's make sure there's no gunk. That does not seem to be spinning that all that well. And that is... This is the wheel for the capstan, which is this metal piece in here that, along with the pinch wheel, so I don't know, if this doesn't work, I may need to oil this capstan wheel so it moves smoother, but it's gonna be a bit of a job to get that out to oil it. Let's just try some belts first, the simple solution, and see if that helps. Pull this little bracket back. Oh, that might be too loose. Oh, no, I didn't get it under the... Get it on that wheel just right. Alright, that new belt seems to be a good size. It's not really slipping. Let's get this other guy on here. That belt seems to be pretty good too. Let's run some power to it. It's hard to, yeah, it's hard to stall that wheel. All right. Fast forward. Or what is that? Yeah, fast forward. Rewind. Stop. Yeah, see, this is the kind of stuff, man, just how these buttons work, seeing how I just love seeing that stuff, just all the mechanical parts of stuff like this. I mean, that's what fascinated me as a kid and fascinates me now, like how you can press this button in and it engages the motor, and that spins this, which spins the capstan, which engages with the pinch roller and moves the tape, and how this stop button triggers to undo the rewind. I mean, it's the kind of shit I love. All right, so I think these belts are pretty good. I still need to clean this up, but let's get a tape in this. All right, I was hoping to run the audio output into my mixer to have good clean audio for these tests. Unfortunately, I'm getting some kind of weird ground loop hum anytime I plug this into my mixer. It may be because I've got power plugged in and not battery, though I'm not getting any buzz when I use headphones. So for now, until I get the proper cable to take care of that situation, I'm just gonna have to monitor it through the headphones, and I'll try to hold it up to the mic so that maybe you guys at home can actually hear what's going on at times. Right now, you can actually see the radio is working. And I'm going to throw in this tape. I got this from fixtureaudio.com. It is a calibration tape. There is a 3 kilohertz sine wave on this tape. And that's supposed to help when you're calibrating tape machines and stuff to find out if it's running too fast, too slow. And it should be a constant signal. So if you hear any kind of like fluctuation, that means you've got some wow and flutter in your cassette drive. That could be a number of reasons for that, but could be belts, old belts, many reasons. But let's take a look. Let's pop this in and see what kind of sound we're getting here. Hearing something, but I'm not hearing the sine wave. Maybe I'll put it on the wrong side. Let's try the other side of the tape. I may have loaded it backwards. Let's see. Ah, there we go. There's the tone. Hearing a little bit of fluctuation. You can hear it go down as I slow the motor down. Now the trick is I need to find out if that 3 kilohertz tone is playing back actually at 3 kilohertz, which means it'll be doing it's playing at the proper speed. It sounds a little high to me, so I think it may be playing a little fast because maybe the belts are too tight, but there is a way to calibrate the motor speed. I believe it's this guy right here. But let me stop that. Unfortunately, the tuner app is on my phone, which I'm using to shoot right now. All right, so I've got a spectrum analyzer up here. Hopefully you guys can see that well enough. And again, I can't run audio straight into it, so I'm gonna have to just play it through the headphones. A very janky way of doing it, but hopefully we'll get close enough. So I'm going to play the test tone tape. It should read somewhere around 3 kilohertz. 3 kilohertz. And hopefully with the speed knob here, I can tweak it to get it as close to 3K as possible. And I'm just going to go with that for now. All right, so let's press play. And you can see it's pretty close to 3 kilohertz. It's dancing around 3015. So there's a little bit of flutter, I guess, there. Let's see, now we're at 3200, so let's back it down. All right, we're dancing right around 3K there. I think that's good enough for now. So I say we clean the battery terminals. Let's get rid of this spectrum analyzer here. So, little 91% IPA, and we're just going to clean actually, you know what? I think I'm going to take these battery terminals out and soak them for a little bit. Ugh. Yeah, that's pretty nasty. Oop. Well, as you can see, a lot of corrosion. A lot of corrosion on there. So actually, I think I'm gonna go off camera and actually sand this real quick just to knock that corrosion off and get that nice and clean. I think, yeah, these other terminals, they look great, so I'm not even gonna mess with those. I'm just gonna get this sanded, put it back in, and we'll pop this guy back together. All right, so got this guy sanded down, and let's pop it back in there. All right, I think that's in there. All right. And actually, the pot did not sound as sticky this time when I was testing the audio, so maybe that just kind of, the corrosion in there just broke itself free just from me messing with it. So I don't think we have to worry about that. All right, let's put this guy back together. Oh, don't forget this. Anything else I'm forgetting? Well, this little post. Hopefully that won't, the little bracket isn't super necessary. Fingers crossed. All right, it's all back together. Let's battery clip back on. Let's throw the batteries back in. Huh, still a little loose, but I think that'll work. All right, let's test her out. All right, it's actually fast forwarding and rewinding pretty well, which it wasn't doing before when I tested before I started shooting. It was very sluggish, fast forward and rewind and play. Actually, you know what? I don't even think it was rewinding or fast forwarding. And play was very sluggish. It was having trouble pulling the tape. But now, it does not seem to be having a problem at all. Let me throw another tape in here that's not the ear-piercing 3K test tape. So I've got this Tape's Not Dead. What volume is this? Volume 2. I'm not going to actually play the audio on camera, just in case I do get a copyright hit. But that's what I'm going to test it. That's what I'm going to use to test, see how well it sounds. You'll just have to take my word for it. Yeah, it sounds pretty good. Maybe I'll put it up to the microphone real quick. Just a short snippet. And maybe it won't get a copyright hit. We'll see. Yeah, I don't know if you can hear that. So yeah, sounds pretty good. There's some wow and flutter a little bit, not too bad, but that's fine. I'm okay with that because I mean, if I wanted a pristine, pristine sound, I wouldn't be listening to cassettes. I would listen to something in a digital form. But that's part of the charm, right? There's a little bit of personality to it. The wow and flutter, a little bit of imperfection. That's kind of why I'm drawn to the cassette format, or drawn back to the cassette format, I should say. And that's why I bought a 4-track recorder almost freaking 25 years after the first one I had. And yeah, so I guess this was pretty successful. I could probably still clean the pot. It's slightly scratchy. It's not bad, but the volume knob is a little scratchy, so it's just a matter of splashing some contact cleaner in there and moving it around. But it's not as bad as it was when I first tested it. And yeah, I don't know. I need to find a better way to test the test tone tape more directly than just holding speakers up to a iPad app. But I'd say this was pretty successful. And I'll be doing a lot more of these, maybe more Walkmans, because I do love Walkmans. But definitely other devices too. Some music related, some not even music related. So stay tuned for that. Yeah, and that's the Sony Walkman WM-F2015. The exact Walkman I had as a teenager.